I go to.
To do schoolwork.
Uh-huh.
What about grown-ups? Where do they work?
Mrs. Richards, my teacher, works at school. Mr. London, our principal, and Mrs. Higgins, our secretary, they work at school too, in the office.
Can you think of other people who work in offices? When you go to the dentist and doctor, you see office workers.
People who tell you when it's your turn.
Right.
The grocery store we go to has an office.
Office workers help run the store. They keep track of foods that are bought and sold. Any other office workers you can think of?
Oh, a bank. The people who give out the money.
Right. And who take in the money and keep track of it. What about a factory? Are there office workers at a factory?
Oh, I guess there are.
They keep track of goods that are made.
I know another business that has office workers. A newspaper.
People who write the paper and check it.
Yeah.
Here's an office in a motel. Office workers are needed in just about every business. Office workers for different companies may do all their jobs in one building, in an office building, that may be miles away from the businesses the workers keep track of. An entire floor might be for workers looking after a single business, like an oil business, for instance. These workers keep track of oil wells that are located in one part of the country. They keep track of oil refineries in another part of the country, storage tanks for gasoline in another place, and gas stations in cities and towns all over. Most businesses need offices and office workers to help them run.
What do people in an office do?
Well, many office workers spend a lot of time at desks, gathering information or making reports. Office executives, bosses, do a lot of talking to other workers to give instructions or to learn about what's happening in their business. Executives depend on other office workers. This woman's a receptionist.
She's the one who welcomes people who come to visit.
Right. She also operates the telephone switchboard. Another office worker is the secretary.
I know what secretaries do. They take dictation.
Yes, in a special kind of writing known as shorthand. It takes a lot of practice to take dictation well. A secretary also needs to be a good typist, so she can type her boss's letters accurately and neatly.
What else does she do?
Well, she answers the phone, she takes messages, and arranges business appointments for her boss, so he sees people he needs to see. Doing research, getting together information that her boss needs, this is another job a secretary does.
She does a lot.
Right. In a large office, a secretary may have other office workers to help her.
More secretaries.
No, typists. Girls who do nothing but type, and who are good at it. For each job she does, a typist must find out exactly what is to be typed, how many copies are to be made, how the words are to be spaced, and so on. The girls type letters, reports, and various business forms needed by others in the office. They get the information they need from written notes, sometimes. A recording machine may also be used by a typist to get the information she needs.
She hears what she's supposed to type?
Yes. A typist may also get help from other machines, like this copying machine. Makes many copies of forms needed by her fellow office workers. Letters and other forms that are typed may be stored in a filing cabinet. Filing is another job done by typists and secretaries, although in very large offices, it might be done by a filing clerk. Filing clerks need to be very careful to put letters and other papers in the proper places so they can be found when needed. Files are usually divided by letters of the alphabet, so papers are easy to find. Papers may be sent from one part of an office to another to let still other workers or clerks know what to do. Shipping clerks have the job of sending packages, making sure that supplies get to the people who order them.
What's this man doing?
Well, he has another office job, bookkeeping. A bookkeeper keeps books.
Like a librarian?
No, these aren't books like you read in school. These are books that people keep records in, records of the money a company spends and earns.
Like my dad's checkbook.
Something like that, only more complicated. More like keeping track of many different checkbooks. In some offices, one man takes care of all the business books.
He's using an adding machine, isn't he?
Uh-huh. The bookkeeper could probably figure out the amounts in his head, but the machine is more accurate and faster. Larger, more complicated machines are used by bookkeepers in companies that have a lot of sales and services to keep track of. These bookkeepers have taken special classes in school and put in many hours of practice to become skilled at their work.
Do the workers ever make mistakes?
Sometimes. But mistakes are usually found pretty fast and fixed. The workers check on one another. An office messenger is another worker who helps out by picking up materials from one part of an office and delivering them to another.
Do they ever send things to other offices?
Yes, some things are brought to a mailroom, where mail clerks prepare letters and packages for mailing. In a large office, many machines may be used to help mail clerks with their job. Can you think of why people work in offices?
Well, for money.
That's right. And that's what they're getting here. These office workers get paid with checks. Each check shows how much each worker has earned.
And then they cash the checks to buy things.
Right. And remember, office workers help provide the things we buy. The things we buy come from many different kinds of businesses. Businesses run with the help of office workers.